Welcome to the morning grind, everybody. We're here live on YouTube and here in Classroom. We got a little bit of a crowd here today, so we are getting going. So the morning grind, welcome. This is your first time coming to the morning grind. This is a class that for today is not as much, it's more for your observation than for what it is. But what we do in here, most importantly, is we hold each other accountable to how are we doing reaching our goals. How are we staying on track? How are you doing with the things we learned this week? Are you able to implement them? Have you had a chance to implement them? This is it's a social. Hey, somebody have a funny story. We all have funny stories, certainly with clients and things like that. And of course, you guys know I'll have a funny story from my guy around the corner, and I do have one for you. So we'll get to that. Much of the time we have title. And Cheryl tries to get in here, either here or online. Cheryl does our mortgage. Tara, do you know Tara? Okay, Tara Hendrickson is our title agent from Celebration Title. We own a title company, so it's nice to have that in-house. So I'm working with Tara for the very first time. Again, guys, I don't do many sales, only for people really that I know or they fall in my lap. My job is to make you guys do sales. So as I always like to say, those who can do, those who can't teach. My parents were teachers. I'm not offending the two of you. I'm with you on that. I try not to. I try to give my leads out to you guys, but I do happen to have a couple right now. And so what's good about that is I'm working with Tara for the first time, and I'm excited. It's been really smooth so far.
So Tara, I'm sorry, she's in-house?
Tara, yes. Yeah.
She does
I have not met her in person yet either. She has her own office, but they're Florida based for us. Tara will her information, and I would suggest, guys, with both her and Cheryl, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I was just introducing myself. Their information is in the weekly focus email, which I will come out tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock. You'll get that email with my video. Make sure you watch my video. You should have gotten one last week. I think I no, maybe not. I didn't include you on that. This week you're included on that. I sent it to your personal email just in case your regular one isn't set up yet. So you'll get a copy of that. It's also on my YouTube channel, which is what we're live on now. If you are on YouTube, please follow me at America's Gurus. It's 2 S's in there, America's Gurus. If you put in at America's Gurus, you'll find me. It has all kinds of training tips. It has our weekly focus, and it has our live trainings. So these trainings that we do are in here, and then they're saved in here. If you go under live, you can find them and catch anything that you may have missed or something that you want to hear a second time. So that's kind of the purpose of this. Let's talk about what's going on in the real estate market right now. Interest rates, again, Cheryl not being here, interest rates are still hovering closer to 7. It's just a tough market, guys. And it's okay, because what we're doing is we're loading up on listings. And the key right now, the key always in your business, which we teach in Prospecting for Success, is we work with sellers and we play with buyers, right? Buyers should be a byproduct of getting listings. The more listings you have, the more successful you're going to be, the more you're going to control the marketplace, and the more you're going to have income coming, consistent income coming all the time. So now is the time to load up on listings. Of course, the biggest challenge with that is making sure that they're priced right. And of course, setting expectations with sellers. Sellers still think it's 2020, 2021, where they can put a house on the market at 10 o'clock in the morning and have the contract signed, sealed, and delivered by 5 o'clock that day. That is not the case now. However, we're seeing that houses that are priced right are still selling in a pretty good amount of time. Ones that are not, however, and the condo that I have, it's been sitting for 6 months. So just keep that in mind. I don't have much else to go with what's happening. It's been kind of a quiet week with real estate as far as news. One thing I brought up last week for anybody that missed it is that we had 2 new insurance companies enter Florida. And for any of you that, if you're not aware, the biggest challenge we faced recently, as far as, you know, from a real estate standpoint, has been the price of home insurance. This is going, the more companies, the more competition, the more chances of bringing the rates down. So that was good news. And we're hoping for continued good news on that front. Open up for how are you guys doing? Number 4 and number 5. How are you doing reaching your contacts? Have you started yet? Or are you getting that ball rolling?
I mean, I have reached several in my sphere of influence. And actually, I made a contact at my manager's appointment. So she is working on her credit.
Right.
And she said within 2-3 months, I gave her my card, so that contact, and I got her information. So
that's great. Yeah. And again, if you're hitting 5 every day, if you get yourself to 5 every day, you're going to reach your financial goal. And just remember, if I want to reach this goal, I have to hit this number. And one of the reasons we do this program over 26 weeks, I mean, I could teach this stuff like every other place out there in, 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Although we have way more information and there would be no mentoring, no coaching. But the biggest part of doing this over 26 weeks, and one of the things with this particular class, I had people that had taken this class for as many years as they were with me, right? And the reason is because it keeps you, first of all, you want to know what's going on in the market, but it keeps you accountable to yourself and it keeps you motivated. And that's what this class is so much all about. And I always tell people, keep this time in your schedule free forever, as much as you possibly can. You're going to get an appointment from time to time. You're going to have something come up because it will keep you on track of reaching your goals. So the thing to remember is to be successful, I've got to hit that number 5 days a week. So you're 25, you're 20 for the week. It's not a huge number. Does it take discipline and work? Going back to what we were just talking about in Business Planning Success 101, which we have taped on here for anybody that wants to go back and see that part of it, is the priority 1, it's making those calls. And people spend so much time in that priority 3. Get out of the priority 3, get yourself in that priority 1. Guess what? When you're done the priority 1 for the day, you can enjoy the rest of your day. And that's one of the things that I do in here. I'm in here at 8:30 in the morning. My calls are more to realtors, but I'll do them sometimes for, when you guys are here doing them, I'll make those calls too and make appointments. And I've walked out of here with 4 appointments. I mean, I sent 4 of our agents on appointments in one day, just from me making the calls during Prospecting Power Hour. And you know what? I was done by 9:15, 9:30, and able to just look back and be like, how awesome is this? Now I can relax and enjoy my day. And that's what you guys really want to do.
And that's the challenge right now, is transitioning from teaching, and then planning and doing that for over 20 years, and then he's doing this, and it's so much information. So I'm just trying to have little goals where, okay, so the social media, so I'm going to continue doing that, and I have to, and then it's there's so much to do. But having this little guy that you just showed me, I can plan my week and not feel guilty, I have to do this, I can try to have that mindset with those, just blocking those little small time, and then, okay, once I'm done, I'm free.
So we didn't go through this in the class, and this is a great thing to talk about now and here. If you look at what the top realtors do in the country, they all do the same thing. It was absolutely amazing. It was fascinating to me when I went and interviewed top realtors. And I mean, I'm talking to people in Washington State. I'm talking to people in California. I'm talking to people in Canada. They all do the same thing. The Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest, Missouri, they all do the same thing. And here's what they do. First thing they do in their day is make phone calls. I had an agent that worked for me that made over $600,000, $700,000 a year. And when asked, when the first thing he did when he got up, for him, his first thing was, I make 25 phone calls before I do anything. The first thing at work, he said, I run first. I get back from running. Before I get anything, even get in the office, I make 25 phone calls every day. And then he goes and does the rest of the stuff. But here it is. The first thing that successful realtors do is 1 to 2 hours, usually 2 hours, of their prospecting time. So that's how they set up their schedule. Some of them do all 3 hours right there. So let's say at 8:30, they do what we call conversation mastery. They call their script partner, or they come in. We have this here in office, and they practice. I'm going to call expired listings today. What do I say to them? I'm going to call my sphere of influence today. What do I say to them? And you run the script. It's just like stretching before you run, warming up before you go for, to run a race.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're going to print them. When we're done, I'm going to give them to you and print them. And we call, and you practice. And then they immediately go from usually 9 to noon, 9 to 11, whatever it is, and they make their phone calls. Now, I like this setup better, but it was interesting because most of them didn't do this. A lot of them will do about 8:30 to 9, 8:30 to 10:30, or 9 to 11, and make the prospecting calls and get them out of the way. I'm sorry, most of them did 9 to noon or 8:30 to 11:30. I said that wrong. Some of them did 8:30 to 10:30 or 9 to 11, like we have set up in here.
So 9 to 11.
And then went back and did one more hour in the afternoon. They did 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or 3 to 4. In addition to that, they always left 2 to like 7 o'clock for appointments every day. If they didn't have appointments, they would go back and try to make an appointment, get back on the phone, even if they'd reached their number. They said, you don't have to do that, but why not? You're not doing anything else. And they said, if every once in a while you just want to go play around to golf or whatever else, that's fine too. The activity, the priority 3, the one we've all, whatever, 1 to 2. They said, if I feel like I can't do it in an hour, I penalize myself and don't take a 12 to 1 lunch break and do it 12 to 2. But they refuse to do those priority 3s outside of 12 to 2 o'clock in a day. And the reason they do that is to discipline themselves. None of those things are that important. They're just not that important. We all think they are. They're not that important. And again, there's certain things you have to set up. Like we spend a lot of time in the beginning setting up your social media to get it right. We had some fun the other day with social media, right? In here getting those set up, but we got them.
Yeah.
We got them going, right?
I did TikTok, and the handle was available.
Yeah.
Except I have some questions.
So it's good. That's fine. That's fine. But the point is yeah, in the beginning, we're going to have to spend a little bit extra time. I get that. And that's why we have digital mastery. That's why we have, these classes so we can do these as a workshop and get them done quicker, using my experience from having done it before. But the point is, if you can get yourself disciplined in these time things, you will be successful. So you get up in the morning, you practice for a couple minutes, either with a script partner, or you come in here and do it, and you get right on the phone. You make the calls. You make those things happen.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we're new and we have to do these trainings, so where would that fall under within that 1, 2, these priorities? Would it be 3?
Training? Training kind of falls out of it, and it's something so that was the other thing that all top realtors did. They still attended trainings. And I'm like, so you're going to your brokerage, you're making $450,000, $500,000 a year. Now, remember, I did these interviews in 2014, 13, 14. It was a lot more money then than $400,000 is now. I said, you still, and a bunch of them, I still go to every training my broker offers. And I'm like, why would you do this? Because first of all, you don't ever remember it. You only remember about 8% of what's said. You guys know this, you're teachers, right? First of all, so you're going to always pick up. Secondly, there's always new things.
Yeah. Continuing education, laws change, new things. Best practices.
So yeah, best practices change. So anyway, 10 years ago when I started this, Facebook was a whole different deal than it is now. There was no such thing as TikTok. I'm not sure what year Instagram started. I don't remember. It was probably like 15 or 16. So a lot of the stuff, when I even see some of these older ones that I wrote in like 2014, some of these things weren't around. Biggest way to get people right now in real estate, which most people don't know this, it's our secret, and we're sticking with it, and we're doing well with it, are Facebook groups. Facebook groups were nothing back then. That's why it's so important to have an engaged group. I've shown these guys this before. I have one of my groups that I created in one of these classes. I did it on my 50th birthday, so it hasn't been that long. I have 40,000 people in it. I have a St. Petersburg group. If you're down there, that's got a couple thousand people in it. It needs to be cultivated. It'll have 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000. And groups are where people hang out nowadays. I make the joke they've become back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s. What happened? Everybody go home from work, they'd have dinner, and all the men would go out to the corner bar, right? They'd have a neighborhood bar, and they'd go out and they'd all just talk about their day and whatever else. These Facebook groups have become 24-hour corner bars where people go take ownership of it. They talk about everything going on in town, from a street light being out to complaining about the PTA to whatever it is. And they connect. And if they're connecting under something that is in your real estate business, right? It's your community page. Something else I don't share with agents until they're here, so I'll share this with you. These guys have heard it. If you go and look at the biggest real estate names anywhere in the country, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, and I say most of them, 99%. I don't remember the girl's name. What was the girl from Dunedin? One of the agents in here told us about her. Oh, she's like the top agent in Dunedin. And said something about her social media, and he looked her up. Between Instagram, Facebook, and a couple of the other ones, she only had 400 followers combined.
What about we got less?
She's been doing it for 20 years. She's a top agent in Dunedin, has 400 followers. I'll get you 400 followers in a day. But the reason is this. The biggest mistake that everybody makes is they create, because this is what the industry now is telling us. 2018, Alan Dalton told me, who was the president of Realtor.com, that it was a waste of time to have a Facebook page. Told 200 agents it's a waste of time to have a Facebook page. He's the president of Realtor.com and the NAR. I'm like, are you kidding me? I shouldn't be saying his name like this on live, whatever, but he knows. We've been friends for a long time. But that's what he said. Now you know what they're telling you? You need to create a separate page. Finally, they're saying this. You need to have a separate page, not your profile, and make it Bill Zeltman Realtor. If you guys weren't realtors and I met you and I said, hey, follow me at Bill Zeltman Realtor, are you going to follow me? Unless you're looking to buy or sell a house right now, are you going to follow me?
No.
After you buy or sell a house, you probably aren't going to dislike, you're not going to unlike my page, but I'm not going to be in your algorithm because you don't care what interest rates are. You already bought a house. You don't care that I have a new listing. You don't care about 99% of the stuff I'm going to put in there. So two things. Number one, the content that you're going to create on your pages, and we're going to teach this at a later time, needs to be relevant of what people are interested in now. Well, I say this all the time, and people, it's kind of like a run-on sentence, but hear me out. People are only interested in the things they're interested in right now. Huh? Right today, are you interested in good restaurants to eat in San Antonio, Texas?
Yes,
Why?
because I'm going there on Tuesday.
Okay. In 2 weeks, if I offer you, hey, these are some great places to eat in San Antonio, Texas, are you interested?
No,
Why?
because I'm not there.
Because you're not going back right away. You were interested today, you're not interested in 2 weeks.
Right.
Same thing in real estate. So what you need to do with your content, and it's turned into a whole different class, but that's okay. And this is what we talk about on Tuesdays, just so you know. You want somebody to follow you. They need to follow you because you're giving them things that are going on. Fireworks displays. Not this week. Again, not interested now. I was interested last week, right? New restaurant opened. New this, new that. And when you get known for that type of content and you create a page that's more of a locals thing, or more importantly, you create a group that ties around something local, people will flock to you. Now, or the 40,000 people on my Newport Richie page, for example, Are they all looking to buy or sell a house? No. Or one or two of them at any given time? Yeah. And we're able to work that. And that's what you're trying to do.
So we're not supposed to do it on our personal page, which was the start of the page.
You want to mirror things on your personal page because you have friends, right?
I need to fix that. I don't know, mine is not mine like that. My personal, and the business page.
Yeah,
we'll learn that.
we did that on Tuesday,
Yeah,
and I showed her exactly how to toggle back and forth.
yeah.
We'll do that this Tuesday. And we'll get your stuff set up when you get back, and we'll go through and do all of this. But that type of stuff and the content that goes on there, because I teach you to automate it, right? I don't do anything would ever take me an hour a day. Today, my recipes went out and I had to manually put them in all 64 groups I have. You're not going to have 64 groups. You're going to have one, maybe two. I have them because I have the whole area for all you guys to be able to get clients from, right? But in general, you're going to have one group. You're going to have a page, you're going to have a group. We can automate it. We can automate all the stuff going on in the local areas using other feeds. For example, we use That's So Tampa. We use I Love the Berg. You ever been on I Love the Berg website? Mm-hmm. It's got all kinds of great stuff. We grab what's called a RSS feed, real simple syndication. It grabs the articles and puts them right on our social media pages, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, on our.
You have to pay for that?
To have it automatically put on there.
Mm-hmm.
I use a program that gives you certain ones free, a certain number free, so we can do the most popular ones. And the way we can do it is we can have it set up where it alerts you. And so if you don't want to pay it, you can just take it from the alert and put it on the other ones that are not covered. So the answer is, yeah, you can do that for free. After you get going for a while, I would probably, because it's like $8 a month or $6 a month, after you sell a couple houses, let it automate because it's less for you to think about.
Right.
Some agents don't do it that way at all. They cherry pick. They keep those websites up and active. When they see something they like, they pop it on. You don't need more than 2 or 3 things a day at most that are interesting going on in the neighborhood.
And how do you get followers?
That's a great question. You're going to start by inviting everybody you know. But the reason I did Newport Richey was I had just moved there and I don't know if I knew anybody there. And I wanted to show everybody in the class, in this same class we do here, how you could do this without knowing anybody. Because I have a page in New Jersey that's got 30,000 people, but it's an island I grew up on. Of course, it's going to do, and it's going to explode. What I did was started organically, went around to local businesses and had little things to join. Anything I was doing, if I had a listing or whatever else, said join our Facebook group, get to know your neighbors in our Facebook group. And then what I did, and this is what really gets you to that number, is I placed an ad for 2 months or 3 months, I don't remember which, $30 a month, $1 a day, and got followers. Once you get these groups to about 100, 150 people, they grow organically, especially if you're putting content in that's interesting, because what happens? Hey, there's a free concert at Sims Park. What do people do? They share my post. Oh, what's that group? That's a local, Newport Richey, Florida Scene is the name of my group. Oh, what's that? They click on it. They see it's a local thing. Well, I live here. Boom, join. Boom, join. Boom, join. I get 100 to 200 new members on it every day now.
Okay. So you put an ad on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I probably spent $90. I probably capped it at $90 or maybe $100 over 3 months, if at most. So you're getting going with your 4.
Yeah, so I reached out to one lady that she put her house on the market. I told you before, with the hurricane and everything, she got spooked, so she took it off. But now she's in Portugal, and she says she gets back July 12th. So I'm gonna probably give her a few days to get settled, and then reach out again and let her know that I'm with the new company, and to see if she wants to list again.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then now I know, like, once I get the script that we're talking about, and see what that is, then I already put my contacts in CMA on Engage, on Moxie Engage. So now I need to learn how to use that platform and we use that information, because I already wrote up, I did like a wedding list of all the people.
Awesome.
that-
Okay.
And so I need to use that data to start becoming more confident. I wanna start with my sphere of influence first.
I always, for anybody that's new, is you're going to start with people you know.
Yeah,
Because, I always say the first day, I had a girl, Denise, and Denise came to work for me in New Jersey. She used to drive an hour to my office 4 days a week, and she was dedicated.
yeah.
Her dad owned a brokerage, and he told her, I love you, honey, but you need to go someplace where they have good training, because I'm not going to be able to train. He knew her and he knew himself. Well, she would drive down every day. I don't know if you guys know New Jersey. She was up in like Monmouth County, which is like north central, and I was down near Atlantic City. She would drive down every morning and take these classes. And we used to do prospecting power hour after the classes. And we got out, and I'll never forget her looking at her phone like it was going to kill her. Like a knife was going to come out and stab her between the eyes. She was afraid of
I'm not
her
gonna
phone.
honest about it. I'm be honest with you, I'm not, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, you don't have to do that, there's so many other ways to do it.
It's not. They're shortcuts that are not true. There are some of those other ways they say you can whatever
Like they,
will work, but they won't. So social media is the biggest thing right now, and everybody's making money off of this. I'm going to teach you guys how to do social media where you're going to get people from this. We're going to create stuff on your website with landing pages where you're going to get people from this. Is it enough people to make $100,000 a year? Absolutely not. The best, you have to have face-to-face, ear-to-ear, or texting conversations. And there's even, and I don't care, with all the digital age, you still have to do that. Yeah, we can create stunning videos, and we will create stunning videos. But all of those things you still have to have. If I don't end up having the conversation, and there is not enough people, no matter how big and broad you do this, that are going to reach out to you, they are people, they're snake oil salesmen out there telling you that stuff. Anyway, going back to Denise, I hope she's not watching right now, because she does jump on my training still sometimes. She works for her dad now. But anyway, I said to her, who are you going to call? I'm going to call for sale by owner. I'm like, you haven't called anybody. I said, how about we just do this? And I ran through the script with her of calling a friend. I said, okay, how about you call your dad right now? My dad's not going to bite. I don't care about that. It was getting her comfortable on the phone. And the best way to get comfortable on the phone, are you afraid to call your best friend and tell them you're in real estate?
No.
Right. Might you be afraid to call for sale by owner? A lot of people are. And again, there's things that you bite off of. That's why we have prospecting power hour. So I'll sit here with you. I'll hold your hand, right? So we can put it on speaker, right? The other thing to remember in addition to that is, what's the worst case scenario? And this was her fear. What if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to? What if I look dumb? There's a billion people in the world. You hang up and you never talk to that person again, they won't remember your name in 30 seconds. So
how do you feel about, like, I saw like these little signs you put on your people's doors, and you canvass your neighborhood and you put those, how effective is that? Like,
I love door hangers.
yeah, so you think they work? Yeah.
They're very inexpensive. The problem in Florida, you'd be better in St. Pete, is most associations won't allow you in there. I believe that door knocking is one of the most powerful ways that you can build a real estate business. And I don't believe this just out of theory. I believe it because I've seen it. When I was in New Jersey, even in the dead of winter, we used to do what we called Community Outreach Wednesday. And I would go out, my agents would go out, we'd all hit different neighborhoods. I used to partner people up and say, do every other week. So we'll do your neighborhood and I'll go with you. So you're not, a woman going by yourself into a neighborhood, because sometimes people felt weird about that. And then next week we'd go to my neighborhood. And again, I was, but we'd make it so everybody was comfortable. And what happens is you're dropping something on the door. It costs you almost nothing, right? You're not paying for postage. You're just paying for the printing. You can buy 1,000 or 10,000 door hangers for
Yeah, I just
6
bought
or
some-
8
I
cents.
just bought some on Tmall.
6 or 8 cents
Really
each.
cheap.
Couple things. First of all, I'm gonna digress for a second, guys, because this is important. On every piece of marketing material you have out there, you need to have your at, like we talked about. What's your social media at? And most importantly, because this is the world we're living in right now, your group. So if you look at everything that I have, including I give you guys my business, you still have my business cards? Look, it has my at, look what it has under it.
Oh, it has Facebook.
Group.
Group.
Yep. Invite on every piece of marketing material, invite them to join, to follow you and to join your local group. And the reason you do that is because, again, once they join, you've got them, and you're gonna hit them, and you're gonna hit them with our content management plan that we'll talk more about, again on Tuesdays. Make sense?
Yeah.
So when you say door knocking, you're knocking on the door and having a conversation, or you're just putting something on the door?
Some people will knock on the doors. I don't believe you have to. Here's the thing that happens, especially today. A lot of times with Ring, people will see you coming up there. And so you're going to get more people that are going to actually come to their door. You get somebody like me, I don't answer my door unless I was ordering food, which, whatever. I eat keto most of the time now, so I don't order food. But I don't answer my front door.
Yeah.
I just don't. But a lot of, even when my ring goes off, I look and see, whatever. But a lot of people will. They'll come to the door, so you'll talk to them then. But I don't even bother with that. I just put it on the door and go.
And how would you
Here's
know?
what happens. Some people are coming into their house, out of their house. How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I gotta have conversations. Some people are driving down the street. What ends up happening if you go to the same neighborhood once a month and do that? What happens? See, for me, one of the best things I did was I did my neighborhood. I used to run with my dogs, right? Or walk with my dogs, depending on the day. People saw me every day. You become part of the fabric of the neighborhood. So I'm sorry, what was your question?
How do you know if the homeowners association will allow you to do that or not?
Go on their website, the association website, if they have one. Or look when you go to enter, it'll say no soliciting right on the thing.
Okay.
One of the things we can get around a lot of it, but it's a sticky situation in Florida. Florida, anybody watch Seinfeld back in the day?
Yeah.
And remember Jerry's parents and those crazy people that were on the board and they ousted his father? They lived the truth. That was not an exaggeration. In fact, if anything, it was probably an understatement of some of these associations. The truth is we're not going into we don't go in to sell anything. You're not soliciting anything. What we always make sure that we have on everything that we do is offer a free market evaluation. Same thing with the do not call list. You're not soliciting on the phone. You're offering a free market evaluation.
So
Why?
On the thing that we're putting on the door, it says we offer free market evaluation.
I'm gonna show you. I just ordered some from Tmall.
We'll design these together. I can help you design them together. And yeah, I want to see what yours has. But door knocking is a great way to, number one, be seen and become the fabric of that neighborhood. And number two, what I always found, especially in the winter in New Jersey, I had to go exercise. You're going to go walk a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever it is around the neighborhood. It was like, dude, this is the best thing in all worlds. A lot of times now down here, what I've done is I've gone into local businesses. If you ever see the little thing on my desk, I go refill them. I have the dog treats with the bags, and it has, your dog need a bigger yard or whatever I put on there. And so I'll just go around to those businesses because a lot of times making friends with business owners, they'll refer you. St. Pete Central Ave is a great spot for that. I can't tell you how many clients or people that became, potential whatever I met. What was the name of that place? The dog bar. I used to take my dog there after work and just let him go run wild. I'd sit there with my iPad or my laptop and have business cards sitting there. I met people all over the place.
Okay. And do you have like a script of what you should say if you walk into a business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We teach all that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Any other questions before we break on this? And like I said, what we're going to do after this, if you have time. All right, we're going to do the prospecting class, the intro class, and I'm going to get you all the scripts that we talked about. So before anything, we're going to get your number. Did that email come through yet? All right, for everybody on YouTube, thanks for coming. We will see you Monday.